Hello again, Christian Red Pill Minister, saying hello to you out there, bringing you another message for the day. Yeah, here I am right outside a church, one of the many churches in our area. Now, some of these local churches are not so, the smaller ones, like the one I even go to most of the time, they're not so bad. They're family oriented. The pastor is a pretty down to earth person. There may be a tendency for there to be some redundancy in the sermons and whatnot. And unfortunately, yeah, the women are pretty kind of, if they haven't married right out of high school, they're career women. And, well, that's where it kind of leads me into this topic here. Uh-oh. Anyway, I'm not breaking any laws here. Car just drove by, gave me a look. Not breaking any cars, I'm just doing a video. Hopefully it's no problem. I'll have to make this fairly quick though. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, you're gonna see the title of this video, and this is some things some concerns I have, I guess, with all this independent career woman stuff. Shit, rather, to me it's just a bunch of shit. But and it all ties into the gynocentrism, feminism mindset that we're currently living under, and men are being more and more pressed by, whether they want to accept this or not. Drowning in female entitlement for the most part, and privilege and male shame, and and I'm seeing, I've noticed, and I've been, I've been rather disappointed these days with the conservative element that I know of, the Trump supporting, the Christian right, I guess you'd call them, the ones that, especially the guys who bleed and fart Trump, 24/7. I mean, I voted for Trump, so I don't want to sound too, I guess, hypocritical, or whatnot. I'm a conservative-leaning person, although I like to call myself a constitutional libertarian would be the most accurate way to describe my political and philosophical views. But these conservatives, that I view as being more of the neoconservative right, rhino right, and who bleed and fart Donald Trump and got Trump regalia all over their house and car and front yard, and are morally, well, they still hold the traditional values somewhat in going to church, even if it's for more moral reasons. But a lot of them are in that Lutheran Methodist denominational ilk, sometimes Catholic too, but usually Lutheran and Methodist where I am, in the Midwest. I'm seeing more and more that the women, their wives or girlfriends that they're talking about, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is what a strong and tough woman she is. And you see, that just doesn't sit well with me. I'm gonna go into this here, but that just doesn't sit well with me. I'd like you to kind of, there was a video, an old video, one of my favorite actors, Jack Nicholson, not as a man, but as an actor, total simp as a human being, but he's a great actor. Had a lot of great movies. But I think the last good one of his that he played in, with the exception of the one with Sandler, the comedy Anger Management, was as good as it gets. And in that movie, if you remember, he was a cranky old curmudgeon writer that hated everybody and was distrustful and contemptuous of everybody. Total racist and sexist and, all that, But remember that one female fan that came up to him and asked him, how do you understand women so well? And he gave his classic smug, condescending smile and says, I take a man and I take away reason and accountability. Now, because I'm not a sexist, if I was a sexist, I would agree with him probably wholeheartedly and say, yeah, they do. Modern day women, for the most part, in Western culture, defining that down to that, they're one on two counts. They are right there. He was right there on the second one. Now, when it comes to reason, you take a man and you take away reason. They do have reason. In fact, they have reason for everything they do. Everything. But the accountability. And I'm talking about conservative women now, okay? I've left the liberal part. They're kind of given over to complete confusion, chaos, reprobation, loss of identity, everything else. But the problem with the conservative women is they're struggling with the same dilemma almost, in that, and their men are too, in praising their toughness and their strength. And if you see a lot of these women like to, you'll see them bragging about how big a fish they catch and how much they like to shoot and hunt with the boys and arm wrestle and four-wheeling and all that great stuff. And the guys that date them, I just go, holy shit, dude! You're not dating a woman. You're dating you're dating one of your guy friends. Why don't you just come out of the closet? You're dating a guy with a V, of a JJ. I mean, give me a break, dude. But I see through this now. And I'm gonna kind of refer this to myself, because, I've struggled myself with wanting accountability when I was younger. I dislike accountability very much. And one would say, well, that's because you were narcissistic. And I'm like, well, maybe a little bit. And maybe I did want to be put on a pedestal a little bit. But in a lot of ways, I was also, it was self-loathing. I had a strong dislike of myself, and somebody who has a strong dislike of themselves is always going to be kind of running from something, especially accountability. So it's actually self-loathing and self-hatred and an inability to deal with one's own identity as their own gender, as a woman or a man, that will probably cause them to want to avoid accountability at all costs. And yes, unfortunately, I am seeing this problem with a lot of these conservative women that are church-going and want to uphold traditional values still a little bit. And call themselves Christian. And I don't know if some of them are saved by faith or more by, I'm going to work my way into heaven by being a, good person. Not spreading my legs for every guy in the street and that sort of thing. And what else did I want to say? Well, they're not fully committed to being feministic or being they want to still kind of have one foot in, one foot out. They want to kind of be with the boys and do their own thing, but then when it comes to the bedroom, they want to be a woman then. And a lot of these women I know will end up with pets and parents and maybe become divorcees, and then be bitter and angry at men and say, well, I never got a man to respect me for myself. I always wanted a guy to like me for being a woman and love me for my true self. Well, you never were your true self. You were running from yourself. You wanted to be one of the guys. You wanted to compete. You wanted to win. You wanted to be one of the boys. You wanted your respect. Then when it came down to being a woman, you didn't want to do that role. You wanted to pick and choose your role when you wanted to be a woman and when you didn't. Sorry, sweetheart, that's just not how it works. So I have to go into something of a rant here, because I'm just seeing the same type of problems, and they're more than happy to also have be the career woman or support that stay-at-home dad, which is again an unconstitutional and, here's another one, unchristian stance. So again, you can't have it all your way. That's what I'm trying to say here. And to you guys that aren't going to stand up to these women, you know what? You gotta. Well, when shit hits the fan for you, you got no one to complain to. You allow this shit just as much as the liberal men did, And yeah, with the conservative right, I've been disappointed. I'm just gonna say it. I've been disappointed. And you want a masculine woman. Guess what, man? Masculine women didn't do much. Masculine women didn't give us with the Constitution and with the culture America created and made America great, and made Christianity great as well. And Christianity is the more important thing, but it's just sad to see where things are now. Make your choice, because life is all about choices. We aren't moist robots down here. Happy Sunday. Thanks for listening. God bless.